Press the bell icon and never miss an update from ETAuto.
Hello, welcome to ETAuto. Today we are at SEAT, one of the most important technology shows that happens in Pune, and it is done by Automotive Research Foundation. Today we have here with us Mr. Anil Kumar, who is Managing Director of SEG Automotive. This is a company which is leading in a starter and component for electrification and generation. This is how SEG stands. Welcome to ETAuto. We see that there are a lot of talk happening about electrification, that EVs are going to be in thing, but you have been strongly advocating that intermediary option is hybrid. How are you prepared, and how do you think the industry to be ready to adopt this intermediary technology?
Yeah, Nabil, it's 1 year since we met last time in the Auto Expo. And in this last 1 year, first of all, the journey has been very exciting and promising. And I recollect last time when I met you, we told you that we are a part of the entire mobility, both for IC engines and for electrification. And for the IC engines, we did come out with a slew of products, and we're displaying some of the products here. For example, the start stop for the passenger cars, which gives 8% of CO2 reduction. And coupled with that is the high efficiency generators, which comes together as a solution for the pass cars. For the HCVs, we have high efficiency generators and also reliable starters. So these are the products which we bought in for the IC engines.
So you are betting big on hybrids, but we see that the government of India is taxing heavily on hybrids. You still believe that this is going to be an option for the market?
Come to that. So I finished with the IC engine solutions from our side, but we are not stopping at the solutions for the IC engines. We are moving into the e-mobility, which of course is in the center of SEG, which is the components for electrification. In this SEAT Expo, we are launching the motor, the e-motor, for the three-wheelers, for the e-rickshaws. And we can scale this up to the e-autos. So that is our first foray into the e-mobility. And also one point that I would like to mention, we strongly believe that electrification will surely come, but it is not going to be a digital change. It will take a while for the IC engines to move into electrification, and the intermediate stage there is the hybrids.
So we have so far what you are talking about, the motor, e-motor that you have launched here. This is in made in India e-motors. We have a lot of Chinese import. How are you going to compete with the cost? Because that segment cost is very important.
Good question, Nabil. I should mention here, first of all, today our aim is to ensure the Make in India is very successful in terms of its technology. So while the current technology of BLDC is the one that is imported, we have come out with a new technology for the synchronous machines, where the efficiency of the machine is significantly higher. The reliability and the robustness is significantly higher. So this is our value contribution as a technology leader in the market.
When you're saying reliability, efficiency, can you put some facts and figures around it?
Let me try to give you an example. An e-rickshaw, which is of course the lower end of the three-wheelers, today has got a life of approximately 2 years before it is finished in terms of its mechanical life. We are trying to build a motor that lasts beyond that.
So what is the technology? How have you done it? Can you share with us?
The technology itself is of course quite unique. The technology is called as permanent magnet synchronous motors. Here the uniqueness comes in its windings, and the winding along with the controller gives higher efficiencies of the motor. So this is what is the technology that.
So you are saying overall better thermal efficiency. That's what you are.
The temperatures of these motors are lower for the same working conditions of the normal BLDC, and also the protection features we built into this motor specifically for the Indian applications.
Okay. When it comes to cost, how different it is going to be?
Cost depends on value, because I wouldn't like to put my direct focus on cost. It is the value for the product, because when we're giving higher efficiencies, it means it gives higher range to the end customer. And also higher reliability means he need not go for replacements so often. And all these counts for the total cost of ownership. So when you look at cost, I would rather focus on the total cost rather than the cost of a product. So as a total cost of ownership, we are competitive against the Chinese.
You said that it is be higher by 5% in when it comes to range and life cycle. How much it will be? You said 2 years. There is general perception that a e-rickshaw has a
Last 2
life
years.
for 2 years, and your motor will survive that much. This is what we are saying.
And exactly
But
what
I
it is.
think even the current models have similar motor.
The BLDC, if you take the current technology, if you take on an average 80 kilometers to 90 kilometers per charge with a lead acid, you can expect this to go minimum 5% higher. So that of course is a daily payback for the end user.
We have so far only mild, hybridization in India. Only few models, 1 or 2 models are, but the cost is very high. The government seems to have taken decision of higher tax because they thought that it was not good enough hybridization, that it will give advantage to the user or to the environment, because maximum 8 to 10% of CO2 reduction that we have seen in these kind of. Do you see India progressing to a stronger hybrid system, and what would be the scenario, if you could explain?
Nabil, we believe that the hybrid as a technology would come in due to the CAFC norms set by the government. Because the driver for this, more than the incentives, would be how do we reduce the CO2 to the target levels. Different OEMs have different targets based on fleets. And the hybrid is a very good option for them to meet the legislations of the country. And particularly in India, if you look at 2022, we are talking about 113 grams per kilometer. So depending on the fleet of the OEMs, they would choose between different technologies. It could be the start-stop with the high-efficiency generator, could meet for small technologies. Then comes the mild hybrids. And the mild hybrids gives up to 15% CO2 reduction. So different OEMs choose different sort of technologies to meet the CAFC norms. This is one part. The second part is, as the CO2 legislation becomes more tougher, then we move from the mild hybrids to the strong hybrids, because we believe again that the energy mix of countries, particularly like India, we are still not geared up because the pure power that is generated is from coal. So it doesn't make sense to move the pollution from the exhaust to the chimneys. So that is where I said it is a migration that will happen, but will happen not digitally, but over the number of years.
Do you have any additional capacity creation plan or expansion plan, especially in this space, electrification or hybridization space, or otherwise, if you could share?
India is a very strategic market today for SEG, and there's no doubt about it that the future lies in India in terms of growth, because the market is of course coming up very strongly, and we are looking at a global sort of a network for our capacities, and India again is an integral part of this global network. So from our side, we are fully gearing up to move from the conventional products of starters and generators into e-mobility. And as you see now, this is our first foray into the e-motors, and we are building enough capacity not only for India, but to take care of the global needs depending upon our type mix of the global.
So you want to make India hub for exporting, or how much are you investing here?
We are already the hub for exports for the conventional starters and generators. And last time I told you we are almost 30 to 40% of our business is going to exports. And with respect to the e-motors, we first start from the Indian market, because India is a market where we learn a lot of things with the introduction. And of course, after being successful in India, we would certainly look spreading across the ASEAN countries for the e-mobility solution from India.
Any new investment plan that you have, or any new plants that you are going to put?
We have 3 plants today in India. We have one in Bangalore, one in Hassan, one in Chennai. And the capacities are continuously increased every year. In fact, this year also we're increasing our capacity significantly in 2 of the locations. So the investments depend upon the way we see the market. And we certainly, what I can tell you is, we plan at least to have a buffer of 20% any point of time to take care of the exigencies. And if it goes beyond that, we look further for modular expansions. And that is the uniqueness of the capacity expansion that we have.
Where are you producing this e-motors?
E-motors currently in Bangalore.
What is the capacity you have created for this?
Capacity today, the market, let me talk and then come to the capacity. On an average, the consumption today in the market is about 10,000 to 15,000 units, which is being imported from China and being sold. But our capacities far exceed the market requirement today, and depending on how the market scales up in the future, we would...
You will export also.
Currently, we are starting from India, and exports is our next step.
Thank you. Thank you so much for talking
Thank you
to
very
me.
much,
Thank you.
Nabil.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.